everybody? Team Takeover here. We got my man Paul. This is the boy that did it today, top 8. Come on, Paul, what did you play today at Philly Regionals?
I played Tri-Brigade Spright today.
Tri-Brigade Spright.
Mm-hmm.
You want to show us that deck profile?
Absolutely.
Right, check it out.
So, monsters, 3 Fractal.
Right on.
Just because I feel like that's standard. 3 Kit, which is also standard because it's level 2 and a synergy with the sprites. 3 Karis, same reason. Also because it's level 2, it's also an extender.
Wow, 3 of the Karis now.
A lot of people only run 2, but I feel like 3 is mandatory just because with hand traps getting back into the format and just being able to summon a level 2 without like committing to your normal summon is pretty important. Only 2 Nerval. Nerval's a brick. You really don't want to draw it.
Really?
If I could cut it to 1, I would, but I can't because if you draw the 1, it cuts back on a lot of your plays. So you got to run 2 just for consistency reasons. Then for the Spright engine, 3 Jet, the best Spright monster.
You played 3 of this.
3 Jet. I don't care what anyone says. Blue is really good, but Jet is the best Spright monster because it gets you to disruption, it gets you to extenders, and it gets you to your other cards. Then only 2 blue.
2 blue.
Just because this one really doesn't do anything besides get you one of the other ones. The other ones have more utility. Jet being able to get you to the extenders and to the disruption is just more important, and blue pretty much just gets you to the Jet.
That makes sense.
Then 2 red. Just because monster effects, nib, hand traps, being able to protect your plays. And then 1 carrot. And then the tech spice.
Show us.
Wind Up Kitten.
What's going on here with this?
So,
what?
Wind Up Kitten has a lot of synergy with the deck. It's a level 2. It's a beast.
Right.
So it works with the Tri-Brigade engine. It also works with the Spright engine. What this does is it gives the deck a way to answer big monsters on board without going into your battle phase. And it's highly searchable. So a lot of the times today, like Wind Up Kitten won me 7 games today.
What?
I went to Gigantic, brought the kitten out, bounced a monster, then linked the kitten and then Gigantic into Elf. Elf bring the kitten back, bounce another monster. So I was just getting extra deck monsters off the board without even going into the battle phase. So outside of Gigantic bringing it out, Fractal can send any level 3 or lower beast warrior, or wing beast from the deck to the grave. So you can Fractal and Foolish Burial the kitten and then Elf it out and then just do the same plays with it also. So like this card was just absolutely nuts. Shout out to Brandon Shirtsline. I couldn't find this card to save my life, and he's like a wind-up fanatic, so he actually had one. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to do as good as I did today. So much love to my boy. And then the other card was Hop Air Squadron. So this was mostly because I know tiers are really popular. It's a really cool play that you search this with Omen, and then you have Elf on board, and then you can Elf to revive a monster. Then after that resolves, you Hop Air Squadron to target the level 2 monster that you revive, to summon and then Synchro into Herald of the Heart.
Oh, Herald.
Yep. So it just gives you pretty much a macro against tiers, and it's like an auto one against them for the most part. So that was really, really cool. That's the monsters. So then spells and traps, called by, mandatory for this format, I feel like. Foolish. 2 tanky. 2 smashers. I feel like 2 is mandatory. I know a lot of people only like 1, but 2, I just feel like if you hard open the smashers, it lets you get the extender. And then like games get really grindy, so being able to have a smashers as a follow-up. And then mine is also still in the format. People are prepared for it, but they're not respecting it. I've seen so many people burning their smashers on stuff and not holding it for the mine, and then mine just punishes them later, especially knowing if you only run 1 smashers. If you run 2, I can understand, but I just feel like 2 is just mandatory. Then 3 starter, because it's starter, self-explanatory. Then the other MVP for the day, Forbidden Chalice. Forbidden Chalice, pretty much, like I didn't run any hand traps as you guys saw. So it was just Ruler No More, Chalice, and Imperms because they just helped me break boards going second. But then worst comes to worst, I could always set it and it's an answer. Like I built my deck specifically to not lose to Super Poly, Ruler No More, because those cards are just like really, really like crazy right now. So being able to have cards in a back row that I could use, and like if somebody super powered me, I didn't care. If I got rulered, I didn't care because most of my interactions were back row. Then 3 Ruler No More. Pretty much like you just have to run it right now if you're not running hand traps. 1 revolt because Tri-Brigade card's
Right.
absolutely nuts. Pretty much when it resolves, you win that game pretty much. And then 3 imperm.
Right on. That's the main deck.
That's the main deck. Extra deck. 2 omen. 1 sometimes for combo. The other one off the revolt. Sometimes if you open good enough on turn 1, you can end on elf with this without having to use revolt. And the elf is live because the elf can bring back like a kit or Karis. So you won't have to depend on revolt. You just automatically have an interaction. And then elf pointing at this just makes it absurd to where they just can't do anything about it. 1 bear broom for the search for the revolt. 1 blossom for the draw, and then also just the extender. Access code for game. Doom Eagle to graveyard interrupt against tiers, and then also to climb in the access code. Double Dragon Lord interruption bounce. The Sclare Claw Lightheart. This card is absolutely like answers a lot of the questions that Tri-Brigade had to being able to just. So usually if I had kit on board, I would banish 1 to bring this out and then link that in the kit into either elf or into bear broom. This being able to make the bear broom a legal summon made the revolt extra live because then you don't have to bring back 4. You only bring back the blossom, nerval, and kit. So this card was like super important. Like I'm so glad I ran it. 2 elf because this card's banned.
Seen you doing work with that, John.
Like so Nightmare Goblin is banned, and
right?
it's not as insane as this card is.
Right.
Like Nightmare Goblin, you pitch a card, it gives you additional normal summon. Cool. Like this not only extends and protects, it just does so much for the deck. And like I said, the interaction, like if I have this in Omen up, I'm just banishing a card every turn on both players' turns. So it's just absurd. Gigantic Spright. This card is also nuts. This is the card I was using to bring out Wind Up Kitten and doing that whole play where you summon Kitten, bounce, link into the elf, bring back the Kitten, bounce again. This card's just nuts.
Down.
And then Down Nerd Zeus. I didn't use this at all today. I feel like it's good to have,
right? In case anything.
like break glass in case of emergency. But I honestly went into it not 1 single time today. So I feel like I have to run it. The time I don't run it would be the time I would miss it.
Right.
And then Herald of the Arclight, which is also just absolutely insane. Just the tier matchup with the hop ear play to make this just disrupts their whole turn and throws them off with everything.
Your side there.
Then the side, so Pankratops because it's really strong. Red Resonator. I didn't use this card at all today because like when I went in time, I either like took control of the game and won already, and I just didn't need to use it. I understand why people run it just because time rules for this game are like so stupid, but yeah, I don't utilize it at all. I don't know if I'm excited, it, but it was cool to have. 3 Cosmics, Reboot, 3 Solemn, Anti-Spell, because Anti-Spell with Elf and Omen is just game, and then D-Bear. A lot of people aren't running D-Bear anymore, which is weird to me because Tears is the best deck that fuses, and this literally says no. So yeah, I just don't get why people don't run the card.
Hey, listen, Paul's different. Let's do it.
Different.
Appreciate you giving us a deck profile, man, sharing it with us.
Shout out to Saul.
Hey,
he also
man.
top 8, Chaco, Ray. Shout out to the best locals in Philly, Garden of Earthly Delights up on Bustleton Ave. You guys come through. Shout out to my team Evo, my boy Mendoza, Feek. Anybody else, if I forget you guys, I love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Peace, man.